Thanks for staying with us. So a famous Nigerian actor, Ibrahim Chattah, had advised men to engage in polygamy if they want to enjoy in their old age. Several questions have arisen from this. Could this be insecurity on the part of the men, or could it be based on the trend they have seen of some men suffering in their old age? So you can join that conversation and give us your opinion by calling us on 0810-764-1679 or 090-241-63440, or you could tweet to us at TVC Connect using hashtag YourViewTVC. BC is on YouTube, so she will take your comments if you are watching on YouTube as well. Here is a major... So there are pros and cons. Immediately I saw it as a jealousy person. I'm like, I don't want to share my husband even in old age. But the trend is, as people get, as people get older, women tend to go and do a lot of omugo. And the men are left alone while the women are going from one country to another country, taking care of different grandchildren as they are born. So Baba is now spending his old age alone, when if he had somebody else take care of him, he wouldn't be completely alone. So BC, what was your opinion when you first saw this?
I just feel that men are beginning to realize that what they do in their youth will bite them back in old age. I do not want to believe that a man who respects his wife, who adores his wife, who loves the wife, who took care of the wife, will be afraid in old age that the wife would abandon him and then go jumping from state to state. Like, I've always known that I cannot be jumping to my children's houses for Mugo. Where will I keep my husband? Who will take care of my boo? I don't get it. My mother-in-law has never slept in my house. She doesn't play with her boo. And luckily, we now had to live close to them. I think it was only once she traveled to the daughter's place in Owerri. 1 week, mommy was rushing to come back to the husband. You hear who will turn his food. Yes, they have a relationship. They are close. So if she was in a place where she had to struggle so much in that marriage, where she had to, just get by and wait till the kids are big, then she's looking for every opportunity to even abandon the man and go and enjoy herself, or go and take care of, and just, distract herself from her bad marriage. I'm not saying everybody that travels for Mugo has a bad marriage, but I'm just saying that when you have a good marriage as a woman, you want to be present in your home. Yes, your husband will be your priority. I always tell people, I say, I started this thing with just this guy. These children will go and leave me. My house is basically empty now, almost, because I have 2 already in boarding and just the little one. Very soon she will join them and they will leave. We will go back to how we started. Now, I am not in a hurry to leave him and be run. Anyway, he won't even leave me.
He will not even release you.
He will even release me. Because who will make my food? Who will serve me? Who will do this? Who will talk to me when I come back? Who will, So men need to pay attention to how they treat these women. And I've seen women who wait out the marriage, waiting on their children to grow. And once those kids are grown, you see those things you did to her, you will not collect. So now the fear is, let me have several wives, so that if this one is vexing and that one is vexing, if you're a bad man, the 5 wives will still follow their children for Omugo and abandon you. So fix yourself, and I don't think you have that fear. Let's start from there first.
Let me hear your opinion first.
Okay, so what's the guarantee that when you marry the second wife will not also go for her own Omugo when the time comes? So how many do you want to marry?
We can marry a young one. The one that will be purifying Baba's blood. You can choose to marry a young one, and that one will not have, is not doing Omugo. That one's job is to be taking care of Baba, raise Baba's leg, warm Baba's body, so that Baba will not be cold at night.
Well, but at the end of the day, they are tagging their happiness on the woman. But I thought you are supposed to be happy. Your happiness is supposed to come from within, right?
Yeah.
To me, I think we go into polygamy for the wrong reasons. The reason why polygamy is there are reasons, there are laws why you should go into polygamy. This saying that people always say that men are polygamous in nature and all of those things. This polygamous in nature, they have already made men to feel that they cannot discipline themselves. They will always need a woman around to make sure to validate their, that's okay, yes, you are polygamous in nature, so you need to have many wives and all. I think that a lot of men go into polygamy. Some of the reasons are, one, for selfish reasons.
Most cases.
Yeah, selfish reasons is because, okay, my wife is this, my wife is that, okay, so you are going to go and look for another woman outside. The woman too will come with her own baggage. And when she comes with her own baggage, you are faced with the same, you still have the same problem. Then another reason is peer group influence. So you see, like, I've seen a lot of household men who marry more than one. If you are on a table with one that maybe just has only one wife, there's this thing they'll call you Mijin Hajia. This is Mijin Hajia. That means because he has only one wife, he's being controlled.
Oh, wow.
Because he has one wife. So if you have more than one, some household men that go into polygamy, right?
It's because they want to...
They want, yes. So when they are, when the matter can now, you, how many wives do you have? This one, you, how many wives do you have? This one will say, I have two, I have
the
three.
thing of pride.
So, yeah, you know. And then sometimes they go into this... they go into this marriage because, you know, they want to punish their first wives. Sometimes they will advise the men, they say, marry a second wife. If your wife is, you know, they're always complaining with the wife, like... yes, she's misbehaving, she's not treating him well, she's not treating him nicely. They'll say, marry a second wife. By the time you marry a second wife, they will come together, they will compete, they'll be competing for you.
You'll
be all the attention.
You.
And yes, and you know, you'll be okay and everything. So most men, there are reasons why they go into this polygamy. And at the end of the day, that happiness and that peace that they are looking for, they will not get it. They will get it later in the future. And this is what we are saying, that sometimes the wives will now decide to go.
So true. Amaka, so I know Amaka will give me the legal perspective. But really, when you read this information that Ibrahim Chattah put out, an advice for men, what was the first thought that came to your mind?
Okay, now humans are innately selfish. Yeah, because we keep saying, take care of the man, take care of the man. Who takes care of the woman? My parents are basically age mates. We were classmates. They met in year 1 in university in London. My brother and his wife are basically age mates. So if the man is aging and the woman is taking care of him, who is taking care of the woman?
They will do it together.
So that's what I'm not understanding. So things like this.
It sounds a bit strange.
Things like this, these are when they say, what's your trigger? This kind of topic now my trigger, because I don't get it. So you want to marry more than one wife for someone to take care of you. Then the woman will marry more than one husband, so that there'll be someone that can take care of her. In old age, everybody is going to age. This is her body that carried how many children for you. It will age. She needs care too. So, like what BC said, the most important thing here is building a relationship with your partner. What are you scared of? If you're a good person, I keep saying one thing on this show when we talk about relationships, marriages, and couples. Kindness, kindness, kindness. Yeah. You have to be intentionally kind, not just being a kind person. You have to be intentionally kind to your partner, to the next person, so that when something happens or during the bad times, they will remember. Nobody is perfect. You must spite the next person. You must unconsciously hurt another person by words, actions, deeds, right? But then when they remember that you're kind to them, that you're good to them, then it helps, you know, they can forgive easily. So if you're, first of all, not an insecure man, if you're not an unkind man, if you're not a man that beats or abuses his spouse, what are you scared of? If you're a kind person, your wife will naturally, women, we just, we have a way of absorbing whatever emotions you give to us. And we feed it right back to you. So if you're kind to me, automatically I want to be sweet to you.
Yes.
But except you are a wicked woman.
Yes. Except that's
another
one of the things that Amatu pointed out, that in some cases the second wife or other wives are brought in because they feel like the first one isn't, maybe she's doing something wrong and they want to spite that one. But there's something that all this conversation, all the points that Amatu highlighted alludes to, is that the fact that when people get married, when men are getting married, they're getting married because they want someone to take care of them.
Exactly.
In most cases. And when men are getting married, it is, I want to have children and all of that. So because of the purpose of that wedding, if the purpose of the wedding is, like I know someone that was just mentioning that I've not cooked in the past 3 years. I cooked for 7 years and I told myself I'm done. When I marry, the person can take over the kitchen. So if somebody has that mindset before getting married, obviously, if the woman is not available to do the cooking, somebody else shall be brought in to nurture, because the purpose of that marriage was someone to take care of me. And when that is the purpose of the marriage, it's not a case of let us take care of one another. I will replace you if you are not available to take care of me. If you are sick in the hospital, there are cases where a woman is in the hospital and somebody else has entered Oga's bed.
Yes.
Has taken over
the kitchen.
Taken over the kitchen, yes, while someone is
in the hospital.
Madam is still in the hospital. So I think that sometimes the purpose for the marriage might influence. But I want to ask a question. There are cases where men are left to suffer in the hospitals. And I think that sometimes we be more partial to our women. There was a data that came out, I think it was about 2 years ago, that more men are abandoned in the hospital, older men, than women. If a woman is under admission, a mother is under admission, the children will come, grandchildren will come, people will come and visit. But in most cases, when it is the older man, it's only the wife. And sometimes if the wife does not show up, the man is abandoned.
So what kind of seeds did the man sow when
he was young?
We always assume that children don't see. Children see and they internalize. They may not be able to speak depending on the way you're raising them, but those things just lay a foundation in their subconscious. That when they grow up, sometimes they take some decisions and they're even asking why they do. They are just not connected. You cannot raise children with your wife that are connected to you and then they abandon you in the hospital. You have to ask what did this man, what kind of seeds? That's on one hand, Then there's also another percent of very wicked women, right? We must tell ourselves the truth. I had an experience with one far uncle at the time who had a very wicked woman as a wife. I don't know where from carry the woman come. But this man did everything for this woman. Everything for this woman. It got to a point where the woman was cutting shows, bringing them home. There was nothing she... In fact, the man died untimely, if you ask me, because of all the stress, the shame, and everything he was going through in that marriage. I know how men are. When they're going through such things, they don't share because of the shame. You are seen as the man. So, so as you be like this big man for office, you cannot your wife, your wife is doing you like this. You are not a man and everything. So they swallow it. He died in misery. So there are women like that, but I think there are very few women who would just decide to be wicked to somebody who is kind to you. Like you highlighted, what you give to a woman most of the time is what the woman gives back to you. So when they are saying they are abandoning them in old age, what relationship did you have with your children? What relationship did you have with your wife? Even if mommy is upset that I'm not going to see this man, there will be one daughter that will stand, no, I have to see my father. I have to take care of my father. Now, you don't see any family member at all and you want to blame the woman. Check yourself. Check yourself very well.
What about where we have situations which is very common in recent times? You have 4 children. All 4. They are all in different continents. All in different continents, and somebody is left alone. What, as like the man is, because in some cases, my mother-in-law didn't like traveling. Like as she got older, she even road trip, even flights were begging that, just take flight. Say, no, she's not entering plane. She's not entering plane. Some people are like that. So it's not even a case of whether the man also could have traveled. It's a case that he cannot, or for whatever reason, phobia, he's stuck here. And the advice is bring in a wife to help take care of that person. And I also know there's another scenario I want us to talk about. The fact that men work so hard, and most of our fathers were not brought up to express emotion. So you will see a responsible man, but not warm, while the woman is the warm one. And the man is at work morning to evening. Who they see is their mom. The mom comes for meeting. Mommy takes me to work, to school. Mommy brings me back. Mommy comes for PTA. So I only saw mommy and never saw daddy. Daddy is either traveling or working, but daddy is the pocket that finances everything. But they're not getting that same love. How do we start educate? Because a lot of times, with the comments you said, you just what people say, he must have done something. What if he did not do anything? What if it's just that he was working so hard and they did not see him?
So recently I was thinking that sometimes these societal values that we impose on ourselves, we need to start checking them and start, some of them we need to, like reduce how we associate ourselves with certain societal values, right? Okay, sometimes like this, the burden on men when it comes to how they should behave, men are not allowed to be vulnerable. They are not allowed to be vulnerable. They are always, maybe when they go to work, they come back. Like, for example, my grandmom, when she was alive, I will see that my dad, everybody comes close to her. They will sit down. There's that emotional attachment. This thing is there. But you see, like the granddad, most times will be lonely. He'll be alone. He'll be growing old, and there's nobody that goes. They don't talk. They don't say their problems. They don't like communicate and say, this is what I'm going through. So there's that connection between the mother and her children. So because of that connection, it's always easier for the mother and the children to be close than the father. So the father always feels neglected. So it's time for fathers to start, they should try and start being vulnerable. Because I saw one video of one video that is circulating, that the man was saying that men commit suicide more these days because they are not vulnerable, they are not saying things. So the man was now like, yes, so the man was now like, talk to people, come out, express yourself. Get somebody that you can talk to, that you can be talking to every time, so that in case of anything, you'll be able to say it out.
Let me take Yakub from the Kwemo. Mr. Yakub.
Yeah, good morning, doctor.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So, for me, I think I totally agree with this topic. Doctor, this very particular topic is very, very important to discuss. And then if there is a resources, if man has resources, I think that is the best thing that ever, the best decision that the person has ever taken in his life. If he has the resources, not only in woman, the person must have ability to control. He must have ability to adapt within both 2 or 3 or 4 wives. I have a reason saying this. It is true, when a man gets older and then you marry a one wife, even though if your wife, she don't want to leave you, but there's a circumstances, all those children may compare her that mama come over. Mama, you should come over to come and do a more for that. Okay, for example, now you have 4 children, and then someone is in France, another one in UK, another one. I think the woman will now move from one continent to another. They will leave the Baba alone. Let me give you a typical example that knows for every one of us, especially here in Lagos. If not that Baba take that very decision, that very, very transferable decision, which is Baba Okoya Omolade Thomas. You see, look at his wife, very young, and then look at Baba up to today, Baba Okoya Thomas. Because if Baba is going to party, you will see very young, this very particular young lady carry Baba's Agbada, and also Baba is looking good. So, for me, I totally agree with this topic, and if I have the resources, it's a way to go. Apart from Islamic aspect of life, it's because Islam allowed that. You get it? Because the children will never call the Baba to come and do a mogo. Or hey, the mama say, if you don't call my husband, I'm not going anywhere. Both of us should come over. That is it. Thank you and God bless you guys.
No, before you go, Mr. Yakub, he has gone. Because I wanted to ask him that what if they employ a cook and have, like, you have a chef in the house, a nurse in the house. Does it have to be a wife that is taking care of Baba? But he's not here to answer that question. Call us back. So you're going to...
Like what she said, that children see. So even if you have a father that is constantly working, or is the sole provider within the home, and the kids are closer to their mother, the kids know who is bringing out the money.
Thank you.
The kids know who is paying their school fees. The kids know. I said, these things are always play. They do. Within our homes, with our parents, we know when maybe daddy is struggling a bit and mom is now brings some her money. Because when mom is, they bring her money, everybody will hear that they brought out some money to support.
Let me even add small. My son recently told me, but it's daddy that is bringing the money now. He asked for something. He asked for something. And I said, we don't have a budget for that. I said, but it's daddy that is bringing the money.
Exactly.
As in, I was shocked. No. And he sees all the work that I'm doing. But he knows that
it's daddy
your money is small.
Because when the mother brings that money,
she must talk. Somehow,
even if she doesn't talk,
even though somehow
the kids know.
The kids know.
Yeah,
you understand? So if you have a father that provided, wasn't present, was working so hard, the kids will even be more sympathetic to him.
Yeah.
And then even if all your children are overseas, they can make a pool resource to get a caregiver for you. They will never abandon you. Men trying to have another wife, like the example this man gave about Shatta and everything. It's just about men being selfish and wanting more. right? Because if the man is married, for example, to his age mate, if he has a young woman that is making him feel young, how about what the woman? So
the woman too will need a young man
we
to
have
make
a conversation. Two of us we have.
We will not go into that one now.
Yes, everybody's human.
Two of us we have.
Exactly.
You have your own, I have my own.
All humans.
Let's take a break and then we'll ask our men to call that if you are having somebody helping you to warm up your blood,
Who will help
should
madam?
first wife to have somebody to help to warm up her blood. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Exactly. 1-1.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we've been discussing a topic that we discussed a few times before, but Ibrahim Chattah brought it back again, which is that for men to get comfortable with having another wife, is advising men, marry another wife so that as you are getting old, someone is available young to take care of you. And we've had a controversial caller, a regular caller actually, it's not a controversial caller, just that they called a call today, and what he said, it did not suit our body. Yakubu was of the opinion that it makes them live longer when they have a younger person, giving the example of the Okoyas, and it's also accepted within their religion. So she asked something, if the two of you are around the same age and you marry each other.
Like me now. We're around the same age. Yes. We're age grade.
Some even age mates.
Yeah.
And then as Oga is getting old, Oga is saying he needs help in the other room, but Madam is tired. Should there be a case of Amaka treating, and you know Amaka, she likes all those kind of things, that let's also have, what about the selfishness of the fact that you're not thinking somebody needs to help her out as well? That's your wife. And I asked men to please call us in and comment to let us know what you think. BC was going to attack that.
So it's different for everybody, right? There are women who their libidos are not so high. So they can get by with once in a month, even while they were young. Once a month, once 2 months, and they're fine. As they get older, they may not even have a need for it. Their mind is not focused on that, in that direction, and that's okay. And so sometimes some men now assume because there are women like this, every woman should be like that. Not every woman is like that. There are women whose libidos are very, very high. Yes. So if you happen to marry one of them and then you get to a certain age where you need somebody to refresh your blood, what about her? That's where you talked about the selfishness. Yeah. And I'm happy that we're in a generation where we can speak up. It's something I will sit you down and say, brother, myself, I need though. Are we working out an arrangement to help ourselves? Because as you are going this way now, you're not going to leave me at home. I'm waiting for you. Because by the time you go and come back, you're tired. You're not able to attend to me anymore. And then I'll now be carrying face up and down. Either I fix myself in church where I'm doing all the church activities, just to, I'm not going to do that. We're going to have a conversation, right? So people are now beginning to say, let's talk about this. Let's put the cards on the table. Talking about polygamy as well, I personally believe that polygamy was an African thing, like this part of Africa. There are other African countries that do, is it polyandry now, where the woman marries? But in this part of our own Africa, it's yes. And it worked for our forefathers and our fathers, right? Now, it's okay if you want to get into polygamy, but from the beginning, have that conversation with your first wife.
Yes.
That as I'm marrying you, I would like to have other wives later in the future. So that if she buys, some women don't mind. Some women, I've heard stories, though, they will say, please, some women bring their friends to help their husband because they cannot deal. Every time, once I'm passing, they're touching me. They touch me left, they touch me right. Me, I don't have power. They will just bring somebody to help you. Some women are like that. So know who you are marrying. Have that conversation from the beginning. If she wants to buy into it, that's fantastic. The pain is where you think we are going to be together forever, and then somebody is now coming later. You are changing the game on me when we have started. That's where the pain is.
Let me take this call from Muritala. Muritala has called from Ikoro. Oh, I'm so sorry. I actually kept him. I was enjoying your gist, and I did not cut you.
And then it's so fun that people should realize that heavenly race is personal. Don't feel that when we are old, let's say we're together, and then you're going to get the small wife that is, or the small person on the side that is helping you. Then I'll be in church praying for your redemption. And it will not work. No.
You know what happens there? Let me tell you what a lot of some men, what they do is this. During their youthful time and their age, they are outside. They are busy. They will neglect their wife. They are all outside, you know, having fun, enjoying themselves. The woman will be in the house, you know, she will try to, she want to take care of the child and everything, take care of the husband. But he's outside. He's enjoying himself. The woman will now condition herself. You understand? She'll have gone through emotional torture. She'll have gone through a whole lot and everything. She will now condition herself and be able to cope with the fact that he's not there. Then, after he must have finished going philandering everywhere, and
carry the baggage.
Then he will now come at 60.
With the prostate cancer.
With everything, you know, he has finished enjoying himself. Then he will now come back at the old age and be expecting a wife.
So now start nursing.
Start taking care of him.
You now become a nurse.
So it's time for the men to start investing.
So women at that time, they will not be going to party. My Lagos women.
Hey!
Every I shall be.
Sunday, from Thursday, it's party back to back. Don't worry, I'll bring something for you in the house. They leave the man alone at home. But I love the fact that what we've all busy said, which is the seed you sow is what you will reap. Amaka also mentioned the importance of kindness when it comes to nurturing relationship and how that would help long term. But let's talk about those that have already caused, that damage has been done. Let me take this call before we go into those, how to help mend those that are going through damage. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Chuku.
We can hear you.
I want to contribute to the matter on ground. When I was growing up to marry, I had this family. So this man taught me how to marry a wife. And one thing the man was doing was he was building more of friendship with his wife. His wife will go for Omugo. She will stay for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and she's back to her husband. Because why? That friendship was there. So when I was growing up, I had to do that. When I was dating my wife, I told myself, this is what I must do. Remember, when you're growing older, the man gets weaker but faster. The man gets weaker. So if you have maltreated that woman, or you feel, okay, we don't have anything, then when you get weak, who will help you up? And when you're talking about bringing someone to maybe to help you warm up and the rest of them, remember we have culture. The man will bring out his culture, that we have culture of this and that and this and the consequences. So me, I feel for you to enjoy yourself as a married man, first of all, build friendship with your wife. Whether she has 200 children, she must remember you at least every 2 hours. I have somebody in the village. I have somebody to go and meet. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Many people have said, you know, BC gave example. There's even our comments, there were several examples of this checking in. My mom, when I use my mom is my strong support system. She's a major pillar of support because I'm always everywhere. So having her around, and my poor parents are still very active. And I know my mom sometimes during school runs, when she has taken the kids to school, she will go to the house to cook something and take care, drop something for my dad before then coming back that same day. So I'm like, and what wasn't mommy at home when this thing happened? They said, no, she went to, okay, so obviously, because there is that warmth. But now we want to address where there isn't that warmth. So how do we now help? Okay, we will later advise the men right now, the ones that are still young. You already see the handwriting on the wall. Do what you need to do. Yeah, but let's talk about those that there's a bit of damage. Maybe they're not even retired yet, but they know that there is damage in this relationship. How would we approach? I know this is the relationship person, so I'm looking at you, that you should, help us walk through a way of renewing the vows and refreshing that relationship that has been damaged one way or the other.
Okay, before I jump into that one, for the young people, they need to learn from their father's mistakes, right? There's nothing like I'm the man.
Let me just interrupt you so I don't miss Festus' call. Festus, welcome to the show. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I know from the way you have been talking, you are all ladies here, and you will take time with yourself. It's normal. Go to the Bible. When Sarah died, Abraham took another woman. When David was old, his counselors, they decided to look for a younger lady. And all those women that he married, they were not of the same age. So, they do it for security of old age. That is what it is. So you may not like it because you don't want another person to play with you. But the reality on ground is that your own mindset is not another person's mindset. Some women are very wicked,
and some are very kind.
As wives. They will train their children to love them, not to love the man. It's a very bad something when your child has done something wrong. You say, I will report you to your father. Instead of you to take care of that child, you say, I will report you to your father. Then the children will now begin to hate the father. So by the time they now grow up, they will not see you that you are disciplined and you are disciplined. They see you as a wicked person, and they will now love the woman. The woman will come home as an innocent somebody, using you. And then the father will come and be bullying them, trying to correct them. They will hate you. When old days comes, they will shift to their parents or to their mom. It's a sign of wickedness in the home.
Thank you, Mr. Festus. Thank you so much. I feel like I should tear into what Mr. Festus just said, but
go ahead, please.
Because it's when it's easy to see the speck in someone's eye and not see the log in our eye.
Exactly.
It's easy to speak about selfishness when the very thing you are saying is selfish. Yeah. So I feel like we need to also look into the mirror and see for ourselves what we are, as in listen to yourself, not with the opinion of look at it. If you are thinking that as a man gets old, it's so important for him to be so nurtured that he would be taking a second wife or taking a younger wife, and we're finding scriptural backing to support our selfish agenda. Yeah. I don't think that, I think we should listen to ourselves. And Bisi already said it, that some women are wicked, and there are many kind women as well. Yeah. Similarly, we know that it's in life, it's what you sow, you will reap. So in most cases, if you are getting wickedness at your old age, you must have some wickedness sometime in the journey. And we are all on this show always striving for a balance, even though we would mention our bias. So I think it's important that when we're commenting too, the comment doesn't just come in and say, all of you are going to support We always try to balance, even as much as we're women.
And I want to you know, speak on what he said. He talked about the Bible, marrying a younger wife, right? So that, trying to say that purpose of the marriage is that when the man marries, you have to marry someone that is younger than you, so that when he gets to old age, you can take care, right?
You have
so
a
now,
nurse.
so yeah, now it's, and have a nurse. So now it's creating a distinction. So there's no problem, like, you know, because me, I believe that in marriage, everybody, you have your own intention of why you're coming in. So if that's the intention of some people, where you want to marry a younger woman, so that at the end of when you're old, then what you have to play your role. That means that all the roles have been defined. My own is to be Nurse Eliza, caretaker, caregiver, no problem. You, Oga, older man, provider, responsibility taker, protector, king, everything. Everybody play your role. If you play your role well, when it comes to that part, the woman will play her role.
Simple.
So if that's people's understanding of your own relationship, then that's fine. But when you don't play your role as protector, provider, and you expect Nurse Eliza to give care, it will not work.
Yeah. So, Bisi, I interrupted you to take that call.
Yes. So I wanted to touch on young men who, and I know that lots of them are waking up into not societal definition of what their role should be as men, but also understanding the dynamics of raising children. So you see a lot of fathers in schools for Father's Day. For their children's portfolio presentation, assembly presentation, daddies are getting involved. So no matter how much money you are making, you must find time to get involved in the lives of your children. We have a lot of daddies who change diaper, who back babies, who feed babies right now. It wasn't like that back in the day. Things are changing. So there is no child that will see daddy nurturing as well as mommy and then now feel I have to love mommy more than I love daddy. Of course, children are naturally, you know, tilted towards the person who nursed them, but then you will see that the love has a balance. And as they grow, they begin to understand some of this. So don't just sit down, I'm a man. My own is just I cannot wash plates, I cannot sweep, I cannot do anything. I just bring money, I go to work. I'm the only one that works. I'm the only one that flies around. I don't have time for my children. And then when the children come close to you, you can't even play with them. The role of a father is also to be a friend to the children. Your role is to carry them outside, play tire, play with your children. There's something that comes from a father playing with the children, that oxytocin, children get it when they play with their fathers. They get the oxytocin when they bond with their mother. Not play with their mother, bond with their mother, but the father play. And you don't play. Anytime they hear your voice in the house, it shouts. He's squeezing face.
Let me take Dayo from Abuja. Good morning, welcome to the show, Dayo. Good morning. Ayo.
Good morning.
Ayo, sorry.
Ayo, something. Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to
what a fantastic topic you have today. So, my contribution is this. From what I've read in the Bible, majority of you are Christians, and you always say, go back to the Bible. In the beginning, you created them one man, one wife. Your Bible also tells me, does nature itself not teach you? Are you hearing me? When he created lion, he created one lion, one lioness. One dog, one bitch. One cock, one hen. There was nowhere he created two females and one male, or three male and one female. No, it's one. But because of the selfishness of you ladies.
My chest.
Yeah. So just hear me out, please. Hear me out. You cannot eat your cake and have it.
Okay.
Every time, like I think it was Mr. Festus who said, you set the men up. Your child will misbehave. Instead of you to punish the child, correct the child, you say, I will report it to your dad. They begin to see the father somehow. Okay, now, you also mentioned that at old age, can't they just get a cook, a nanny, or something? Did the man get married to a nanny or a cook? You will tell me you are going for Omugo. You go for Omugo 6 months. Before you finish the 6 months, another one has given back. You are moving from one place to the other. The man is alone in the house, wasting away. Let me tell you, from the very first day I married my wife, we have always had house help. Are you getting me? My first daughter is back from Canada now. Are you getting it? So see my daughter have no problem. Like, fine, myself and the mother were having issues. Yes. So those are the issues.
But thank you so much, Mr. Ayo. We have realized a lot of comments on YouTube are talking about how when women come for Mugo now, mothers come with the fathers.
That's how it should be.
So the two of them are fresh. Mr. Ayo, next time you are going, your wife is going to Canada.
Follow her.
Please,
Follow her. Two of you
carry your box and go and enjoy.
Except she's running away from you.
Then she needs
If
fresh
you have
air.
been a wicked man from beginning, she
She needs fresh air.
just to raise her children. And two of you, when you go to your in-laws' house, you start quarreling and fighting. She will run away from you.
I want to get Ramatu. Because the two callers have mentioned it now, like it seems like mothers are twisting children against the father. I don't understand. How can they twist somebody against another person if the man is also present? Do you understand? Yes. If the man is present, they can't twist.
It's not possible.
It's not, I can't twist. So in most cases, if we say the mothers are twisting the children, it's because, okay, you're not there.
You're not there.
And then
You're not doing what you're supposed to do.
so they can manipulate your absence can be manipulated to mean anything. Yeah. So we need to have more present, which is what BC was saying, that fathers are now stepping in more. Right now, even me, I'm jealous of my husband because my children, once they, it's serious.
As in,
it's like
even me.
If I say I'm not taking you to school, they'll be like, oh yeah.
Yeah, they prefer daddy.
Because daddy is very generous. Me, I'm doing
daddy.
Budgets for everything.
Calculating everything.
Once he picks them up, they go and buy snacks straight. Me, I'm driving past the place. So there is an obvious, at least financially, they know that it's daddy that would be dolling out.
I can't do shakara for my kids. They say, Dad, don't worry. Mommy, don't worry. Daddy has got it. Daddy, they are so close.
So, Robert,
so what I'm just trying to say is this. The men need to come out and start getting involved in activities of the kids. It's not like the way when they were brought up, the way they were brought up, or the way the society has made it look. Now, some fathers, as soon as they give birth to their children, they also take part in, like you said, changing diapers, bathing their kids, taking their kids to school before going to work. Communicating with homework. Once in a while, help with homework. You need to be part of that that connection, so that in the future, later, there's a way that we will treat a woman that even when she goes for Mugo for 3 weeks, she will feel like leaving. She'll start telling, like me, if my mom comes to stay with me, by 2 weeks, she'll start telling me she needs to go back. She needs to go back
to her husband.
No matter the kind of begging, if you like beg with all your life, she's going back. And she will go back and go and meet my dad. So there's a way that you treat a woman, whether you like it or not. Once it's time, she will.
You are covered.
She will go. Yeah. And you know, these men, they're always bringing out scriptures. They'll say,
my dear,
this,
you will continue with that
Solomon, Solomon had how many wives?
300 concubines.
Solomon.
That, no matter how many women, this, that, you know, and all. Those men, I think those things happened before the Bible and the Quran, right?
It's not even that. I think it's
the
selfishness of men that was acknowledged in the Bible. And let me take Lucky from Abuja before I start saying things that... I will say it. Mr. Lucky, welcome to the show.
Good morning, my people. How are you?
Thank you.
Okay. My contribution to what you're saying is that women are good, but the men have to learn how to handle women. No, see, women, God has created them to take care of us. I know some men are wicked. And if you are in cooperation with your wife, right from the day you marry her, with all the children, he will project you before the children. If anything I do to my children through my wife, he will come back. Go give daddy bought clothes for you, but daddy has paid your school fees. Because we have understanding. But when you are doing things, you are not carrying the woman along. The woman will deal with you. And when they deal with you, you start complaining. When you love your wife, really love your wife, the woman knows. My wife used to tell me, look, if they reconnect, he will marry me again. Oh. Because the way I marry, the way I handle her. But if you don't, the women wickedness don't get too bad.
The way they can love, they can hate.
Yes, there's one thing in my place. They don't enter killing with better eye. There's no woman that will get without something.
Thank you so much, Mr.
It's not
Lucky.
easy.
So
Wait,
Islamically,
yes.
it's not easy to bleed for days
exactly.
and survive.
Yes.
Which
Islamically,
animal bleeds for days and is still alive?
Islamically, we're allowed to marry more than one, but there are conditions, right? There are conditions.
There are stiff conditions.
And one of the conditions that I know that we can hardly meet is the fact that you have to treat everybody equally.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And most of these men, when they get married to a second wife and she comes, most of the time, the second wife comes with an intention of unseating the first wife. Before, sometimes. I'm the first wife in my house. I don't want to share my husband. I won't come in because I'm a Muslim. Yes, because I'm a Muslim, yes, you're allowed to marry more than one. I'll come in with the expectation that later on I'm going to have a mate. I don't have intentions of sharing my husband. Do you understand? So when you want to do it, I'm going to feel bad. I'm going to feel, dejected and everything. And then later on, you now want to have peace later. Sometimes when they marry that second wife, that's the beginning of war in the house. Because, of course, we are now sharing husband. And, there's competition, there's everything. And then there's less love for the kids. Everybody, the wives, they are all struggling to get love from the husband. And you don't understand. And he's just one. He's just one. And there's little, or he can't do more than himself.
So you see what this amazing man that the wife wants to marry again just said. And it boils down to that thing I keep saying. Intentionality. The way as a man, you are intentional about your career. You studied JAMB. You know what you want to study for university and engineering. When you came out, you were intentional about the job you got, keeping your job and everything, right? Doing those manly things. The wife you want to marry, you married her. You are intentional about all this. Why won't you also plan? Then you plan your retirement. Why won't you also plan your retirement in terms of how you treat that wife that you married? That wife that you prayed for, that God finally gave you. Yeah. Why won't you be intentional on how you treat her and how you want your retirement to be with that woman, to have your happiness and peace? You have to be intentional.
Let's take a quick break. Honestly, we have dissected this conversation from all sides. We've given advice, those that need. I really wanted us to talk about those that are already, they know that things are damaged. You can see the way your wife is looking at you, that your punishment is loading. We'll continue after the break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.